Good morning everybody, welcome to Wednesday's maths lesson. We're going to use one of the White Rose presentations today. So for the last 2 days you have been looking at division by sharing. What we're going to do is we're going to do division by grouping, and you might find this familiar to some of the work that we did last half term. So let me just get the slideshow up. Okay, so making equal groups, grouping. So, first of all, I've got some questions for you that I want you to do on a scrap piece of paper. You don't need to worry about doing them in your book. Here we have some arrays down the middle. Can you come up with 2 multiplication questions for each one, please? So something times something equals 6. Something times something equals 6. Think about the rows and the columns. Do the same for this one where there's 12 circles. And the same for this one where there is 6. So pause the video now and have a go at those, and I will go through the answers in a minute. Pause now. Okay, good. So you should have 2 multiplication number sentences for each one. So the first one we're looking at, you can either have 2 groups of 3 by going across in a row, or you can have 3 groups of 2 where you're going down in a column. In the middle one, it was either 3 groups of 4, so this time they've gone downwards, 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups, or 4 groups of 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the bottom one was either 1 group of 6 or 6 groups of 1. Okay, so well done if you managed to get all 6 of those arrays. Let's move on to our learning for today then. So here I have some frogs. Excuse me. How many are there? Count them for me, please. Okay, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we have 12 frogs altogether. Can we put them into groups of 4? So I didn't say this before, but might be worth pausing the video now and getting some resources and to help you, just like we did on Monday, and you possibly might have used resources yesterday for your problem solving. But can you get those 12 objects and put them into groups of 4? So we're not putting it into 4 groups, we're putting it into groups of 4. So it's slightly different to the sharing we've been doing. Let's have a go and look at it all together. So I'm going to get some frogs to sit on a log. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's one group of 4. Another group of 4. And another group of 4. So altogether we have 3 groups. 1 log, 2 log, 3 log. There's our circles that we've been doing earlier on in the week. There's our groups, and we've got 4 in each group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's easier if we put them into rows and columns. So here's 1 group of 4. Here's another group of 4. And here's another group of 4. How many groups of 3 are there then? We've got 1 group of 3, 2 groups of 3, 3 groups of 3, and 4 groups of 3. I've been saying to the children in class this week that division is the opposite of multiplication. When we were doing our multiplication, we put these groups into arrays, and we can use these arrays to do the division as well, as long as we know how many we've started off with. So we've got 12, and we've put it into groups. Here we've put it into groups of 3. So there are 4 groups of 3. So 12 frogs makes 4 groups of 3. How many groups of 6 are there? We've got 1 group of 6 and another group of 6. How many are there altogether? We have 2. So we can also, this is the same number of frogs, so we can also say that 12 frogs can be put into 2 groups of 6. Finally, and this is a really quick lesson because it's going to get harder next week, but for now I just need you to understand what grouping and sharing is. How many bean bags are there all together? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There are 15 bean bags, and I'm putting them into groups of 3, look. How many groups of 3 have we got? So we've got 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups, 4 groups, 5 groups. So there are 5 equal groups with 3 bean bags in each group. That is what grouping is. You take the total that you start with, and instead of putting it into groups, you're grouping them together. So we're not going to say, right, we want 5 groups or we want 6 groups. We want groups of 3, groups of 4, groups of 5. It's a slight change of the language. So I want you to have a go at the questions on your worksheet. So some of you have a worksheet that looks a little bit like this. So first of all, it says draw lines to match the pairs of socks. How many socks are there altogether? How many socks are in each pair? How many pairs of socks do you have? So you're going to match the socks. So here we've got a green one, you're going to draw a line to the other green one, and you're going to keep going. Then I want you to carry on working through the sheet as best you can. The rest of you have got this sheet down here. Here we've got some apples again, just like we had on Monday. And it says Annie has some plates. She wants to put 2 apples on each plate. Show Annie how you do it. So you're going to put, what I would do is take one of those apples and draw it in the box. Can I draw on this? So I've got an apple here and an apple here. That's one group of 2. So I'm going to cross those out and I'm going to draw a plate. Then I'm going to do 2 more apples. And cross them out. So it's the opposite of what you did on Monday. With Monday, and you had the apples, you shared them out into 2 groups. Now you're putting them into groups of 2. So I want you to carry on doing that, then fill in the question. Here, then you've got to take 15 counters, put them into groups of 3, then complete the question. And here, you've got groups, you've got 20 chairs, put them into groups of 5. So again, with this one, you could draw, and the one above actually, you can draw around 5 chairs. And then another 5 chairs, and another 5 chairs. And how many groups did you circle? We haven't talked about this. I'm not going to go through part C. If you think you can do it, brilliant. If not, wait until tomorrow's lesson, because we're going to talk more about this symbol in tomorrow's lesson, and you can always come back and finish it. And that really is it. All you need to do is then your problem solving, which is another true or false question, just like we had on Monday. I'd like you to have a go at that yourself, please. Okay? Tomorrow, it will get a little bit harder. And same with next week. But for today, I just want you to understand what grouping actually means, just like what sharing actually meant on Monday. Off you go.